got some Disney shit to discuss, aka Marvel, as I always have to bring up at one point or another. Um, but so like I said, I did not see the Thor: Love and Thunder in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
It just hit Disney Plus the other day, and I finally watched it. Now, I avoided the majority of the spoilers. I knew kind of the post credits. Have you seen this, Gabe? Have you seen the Thor: Love and Thunder yet?
Man, I finally saw. Is it No Way Home or Far From Home? Which one does it split out into the multiverse?
No Way Home.
Okay, I finally watched No Way Home. I have not watched anything past that.
Okay. Well, I won't spoil. I'm not gonna spoil anything in this, but I knew about the post credit scene. So like I already knew that going in, and that excites me a little bit. But we'll see. Now, I heard a lot of the reviews though, non-spoiler reviews where they didn't talk about what happened, just general, how they felt about it, and not everything was good. So I was like, that's a little disheartening, because I'm like, this isn't just the average people that I know that don't particularly like this stuff in general anyway. Like people
Right.
that I know that like this stuff, they're like, like it's not that it's not entertaining. It's just not great, And so I watched it and I kind of felt that. I kind of felt that. Yeah, I wouldn't compare it to Ragnarok, that's for sure. The thing is, I like Taika, what I always have trouble pronouncing his name, Taika Waititi, is it? Um
Yes.
I like him. I like his non Marvel movies. The one I forget what it was called, was something Jojo Bunny or something, where he plays
Plays
Hitler.
Hitler.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
What We Do in the Shadows,
that's great.
like I like him. I like him as a person. I think he's an interesting person, and I like his sense of humor. Now, when it comes to Love and Thunder, somebody should have tapped homie on the shoulder and been like, "We need to dial this humor back." It's not that the humor doesn't work or it is bad. Like there's tons of shit that made me laugh my ass off. But it's supposed to be a superhero movie, and there's none of those moments where there's like really like a serious moment. Like
Where
every serious moment is always undercut by a joke.
where the Avengers theme should start playing and Cap should rise from the ashes kind of moment. You don't get
Right.
any of that in it.
Right. And there was just too much of it. And
Fuck.
now the other thing is now I knew of this character, but I don't know a lot
Mm-hmm.
about the villain of this movie, Gore the God Butcher. But
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale, fucking this dude, this dude's just batting 1,000. Mr. Bale. He was great. It didn't the character was not portrayed in the way that I expected. I mean, there wasn't any. I didn't, like I said, I don't know much about the character, so I didn't have like a. I'm not saying that, oh, he didn't act the way that he should be. I'm not saying that because I don't know. But based off what I'd seen, he acted almost kind of light Joker-ish, but not in a overbearing way.
Eh,
But I really really liked this. I liked this character. I liked what he represented and what his goals were. The only problem is that it's treated like villain of the week. And I'm like, I'm not saying that this guy needed to be like a Thanos or anything like that. Like, I'm not saying that, but just maybe in the Thor universe, have this dude show up like one or two more times. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would have been cool. Like, give this guy a little bit more respect, you know? Now, at the same time, uh, apparently there's part of his story that they can't really use. Now, he has this sword in the movie. It's called the Necro Sword. Now, in the comics, kids, in the comics, this sword belonged to some sort of king or like prime leader of the symbiotes, like i.e., like Venom, Carnage, shit like that. So they couldn't really do that for legal reasons.
Which is fucking stupid.
um, but I like what they did. I knew that going in that they probably weren't. It wasn't going to be symbiote related, but they just switched it to shadows, and but there were still beasts and creatures and shit. Like it was fine. It's totally fine. And I actually almost kind of liked it a little bit better, if I'm being honest. But any way you can work in Venom, that'd be fucking great. But that shit ain't gonna fucking happen.
I'm still waiting for Agent Venom. I want to see some hardcore Punisher shit happen.
But that was really my only complaint, was that like there was no real serious moment like that you were like, this is like everything had to be goofy. And like I said, it wasn't that the humor was bad, it was just there's just too much of it. And I'm like, you got to remember, I'm like, you're making a superhero movie, not a comedy, like flat out.
So this Thor
Yeah.
movie is the equivalent to if Hot Shots Part 2 was a superhero movie. In terms of forcing it in.
Yeah, you could go that route. You could go that route. I don't want to say it's that extreme, but it's pretty fucking extreme in some parts.
I'm more referring to how nonchalant it does it, rather than.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There was some. The only things that were forced, like, I'm not gonna get into them because people fucking might get pissed at me. And it's not the fact that certain things were certain ways. It just felt like that they made certain things certain ways on purpose, not because they're like, this actually works for the story. But I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I'm not gonna get on my soapbox about the MCU again because I think I kind of pissed a
we
lot
do
of
that.
people
We do
off.
that way. We do that way too much.
Too much, and I think I pissed some people off with that Phantasm comment about the journey being better than the journey with Iron Man. But I had a point. But it just seems like I forgot who it was said pretty much what we were getting at, which was they need to slow down. And they need to look at their product better. MCU is at the stage now where it's like Thor 6 because fuck you, we know you're gonna go and pay for it. To paraphrase what Joe Bob said about Halloween 5. But that's bad that I'm comparing MCU movies to Halloween 5 because that's exactly where we're at with it. What made people love Ragnarok? If you went into it as the same director, you should have known that you got to do something in the same vein of that. You can't go too far off course because Ragnarok is wildly considered it's the best Thor movie. I don't think that's in question.
It was the humor that it needed. And like a lot of people, like, I mean, I think people shit on 2 more than they shit on the first one, but I've not really heard a lot of people speak good about the first one. I personally really like the first one. I think the first one's really good. The second one, yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like some shit happens. It's like, but
it's a
not,
filler movie.
Yeah, it's nothing terrible though. But Ragnarok was definitely like it gave it the humor that it needed because it was too like just kind of bland, stoic, kind of like I'm the hero,
which works in some parts. I think that's what
it needed to be balanced out. It was uneven. That's the problem. It works. It just needed to be put into balance.
Like in the first Thor, when he finishes the beer and says, "That's delicious, I'll have another," and throws the glass down
Yeah.
on the ground.
Not
That,
nearly enough of that. We needed more of that.
thank you. Because Thor, you can't take it. You can try to take Thor serious, but at the end of the day, just remember the MCU took something from Norse mythology and tweaked it and gave it to us in MCU form, and that's what it is. He's remember Dexter's Lab?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Remember the little superhero show with the Infraggable Krunk and Valhalla, the Justice League or whatever it was? That's always what I thought of Thor. Was the long-haired, kind of dumb, blonde guy with muscles. That's what we need. And we need it balanced, though. And the first Thor movies didn't really give us enough of that balance. Ragnarok, like you just said, gave us that balance. And now what you're telling me is they tipped the fucking scale again.
Yeah, they went way the fuck the other way. Yeah, exactly. And I agree, Lucy. And tell me, and I'm trying to say this in a non-spoiler way, but like I said, it's a situation that in the end doesn't matter. But there was a moment in Love and Thunder, because to me, one of the best parts from Ragnarok was said character there. There's a moment in Love and Thunder where I was like, this is potentially about to be one of the absolute worst MCU movies of all time right now. Thankfully, they corrected the ship a few minutes later. It was a red herring. But there was a moment where I was about to be all like, no, fuck this movie. Okay, good.
I got to get caught up, but I got a lot to get caught up on because you dropped the Mandalorian season 3 news on me today, and I'm sitting over here like I'm still a season behind.
Well, speaking of which, I'm glad that you mentioned that because I was going to use Thor to segue into this. This happened today. Like D23 is going on as we speak this weekend. Yeah, about yeah. Yeah, me and the wife were just like, the fuck? And then it was like, no. But yeah, D23 is going on. And I sent you some trailers.
Yep.
Now, there was kind of some I'm going to use this. Okay. Apparently, this is kind of tradition now where every episode I have to have at least one allegedly moment. Don't worry.
Contact our legal team.
Don't worry. We don't need the tinfoil hats for this one. It's not. We don't have to go that far down a rabbit hole this time. And because I use the term fuckery very loosely in this, it kind of makes sense. You know how Nintendo is in terms of legality stuff? Like, you've heard them like going after like and suing people. Do you think that Disney kind of operates in that kind of manner?
For my sake and my family's sake, I might abstain from answering this question.
We don't dare denounce the mouse in this house.
Because I don't think they're necessarily overt about it, but as properties start to get into the public domain for them, I kind of am anticipating some sort of legal shenanigans going on that could result in a lot of litigation and a lot of unhappy people.
Because I have a theory. Because some things went down that I think were not very consumer friendly. And I think I have a reason for it. But again, this is all alleged. So, and also based off of other YouTube people that I've watched that are actually physically at the event And like these people are like, I mean, I'm not saying that this makes them any more credible than anybody else, but I mean, these are people who put on shows on YouTube every day, and they've got thousands of people every fucking day. Credible, I feel. I believe these people.
Which,
Um,
as a reminder, please follow our YouTube.
please follow the YouTube. um, but they were kind of detailing because they had media passes, and because they, they do a YouTube fucking show. Um, and they had kind of a shit fucking day today. Bam, there it is. So let's go a few months back in time to San Diego Comic-Con back in July. Now, I feel that when Kevin Feige gets up on stage and a YouTube fucking show. Yeah. A goddamn fucking YouTube show about fucking YouTube fucking. But no, so you feel like when Kevin Feige gets up there and he puts up
Trademark.
the timeline for like the phases and shit like that, and everybody fucking wets themselves and gets excited. I'm one of those people. I'm just being honest.
That's
That shit is almost as big a big of an event for Marvel as a fucking movie itself.
yeah.
And it's amazing promotion. So
I was just gonna say, it reminds me of when a Facebook or an Instagram or Twitter user posts a list and intentionally botches the list to stir up controversy, because no matter what is in that timeline, someone's going to be pissed, someone's going to be happy, someone's going to be indifferent, and they're all going to fucking talk about it. And that's going to garner up hype regardless.
It's just it's great publicity. It's great. And Kevin, I imagine, fucking enjoys the shit out of it. Because it's fun. He's the bringer of good news.
He probably gets off on it, allegedly.
Exactly. Yeah, bad public people are still talking, even if it's bad. So you cut to now, and when that presentation happened, that was a huge fucking list. I went over everything on a fucking episode. Fucking beat by beat, everything that was released or announced. There were significant spaces left unannounced. So one was led to believe that the new the shit that wasn't announced then, they're like, oh, like that's the shit they're saving for D23. So I'm all excited. I'm like, okay, when's the shit happening? 1 p.m. Fucking great, grand, wonderful. I'm tuning in. I'm like, perfect. I can talk about it tonight. Ain't no stream at all. Disney is not letting this event be streamed at all. And like 80% of the trailers that got or trailers or footage or whatever that got shown, they're like, this is strictly for the people here, and we're not releasing this online. And look, I'm not one to tell somebody what they can and can't do with their own shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to be that guy. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. But because there was shit from Comic-Con that we didn't see, but we got enough information. We got some information. Now, but everything that they showed was shit that we already knew about. Really, the only brand new thing that we heard about was that Werewolf by Night thing that I sent you the trailer for, which looks very fucking interesting, by the way. And I'm just wondering if Kevin Feige was just like told last minute by Disney, like, you're not streaming this. Because it's like, and so Kevin was just like, well, then we can't, because the main thing that I'm thinking this happened. All right, I'm skipping over like the major event that happened. All right. Weeks leading up to this, it was, I don't know if it was officially announced, but the big, at least at the very like lowest level, it was a heavy rumor. But we was led to believe that at least the cast of Fantastic Four was going to be revealed. Now, they did say that they finally have found their director, and I believe it's the guy that directed WandaVision. Good for him. I liked WandaVision. Sure, why not? But no cast reveal. And there was a specific image where it said, we don't have any more Fantastic Four news to share with you. Because like they knew everybody was there for that. And I'm wondering if Kevin Feige got blindsided by Disney last minute and he's like, well, I can't reveal this shit to just like a limited fucking, you know what I mean? Like, this needs to be big. And it's like, I'm just wondering, like, is Disney kind of just being like, no. In an age where everything can be on the internet in seconds, like, why would again, like I said, I'm not trying to be that guy. That's their shit. They can fucking promote it however dumb way they want to promote it. But it just didn't make sense to me. Where I was like, there was nothing. The things that we can see online is the Werewolf by Night, the Secret Invasion trailer. That's the show with fucking Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury, which does look pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
I'll take any Nick Fury I can get.
You know, and it was just tidbits of information, like of things, like they told you who, like they didn't show anything, but apparently, like they told you who the main villain of the next Captain America movie is gonna be. And I'm like, what kind of a presentation is this? You know what I mean? It feels like, because it was set up to be like, because everyone's like, this is going to be the fucking megaton bomb of craziness. And it ended up just being a rehash and look at some of our B-roll. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's not Kevin Feige. He doesn't fucking do presentations like that. And I'm like, there's gotta be some fuckery going on with the mouse.
Dare I interject with some possibilities for why that happened?
Okay.
1, Fantastic Four is cursed. It always has been cursed in movie form, and it may always be cursed because they cannot get it right on a property that has potential to be very, very good.
Yeah.
And they don't want to they don't want to say too much because people be all right, let's look at this from me and you like to game a lot. Let's look at it from this perspective. When Welcome to Raccoon City came out, what's one of the first things that happened?
Instant disappointment. Well, wait. When it came out or when it got announced?
Oh, when it got announced, when the cast got announced.
Oh, you're talking about oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. I was thinking of the game Operation Raccoon City. My bad.
Because that's fun. That's fun. That's a fun game. But Welcome to Raccoon City got absolutely drugged because of how they did the casting. And there's two modes of thought on casting. And one is the correct answer and one is the wrong answer. The wrong answer is you get characters who only look like your characters, and they don't act.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen that before.
Seen that before, and it is called the later Resident Evil entries. Then you get the ones that don't typically look like the character would, but they can act, and they're trying to make up for it that way. And then and the point of this is you can't appease everybody, but really what we want at the end of the day is good acting.
Yeah.
If they announce that Fantastic Four cast list and one person is out of place, automatically going to tank the movie just because of that. We've seen this happen before. One little group gets mad, and then their voice gets louder than everybody else's, and then, now Fantastic Four, it's going to be shit.
You know, I agree in a certain way with that. I honestly think, now, I'm team Krasinski or whatever the fuck his name is, John Krasinski. Yeah, like I want him. I hope that it wasn't just a fluke from Strange, but I can live with someone else as long as it's the right call and they do a good job. I think if there's going to be a huge negative reaction to a character being I think it all solely falls on whoever they cast as Dr. Doom. If people don't like Doom, it don't fucking matter who the Fantastic Four is.
And I hate to say it because lightning in a bottle happens sometimes. When Heath Ledger got cast as Joker, remember, everybody hated it, and they weren't going to go see it, and then he turned out a
Grand slam.
It was a grand slam. It was a good performance. The movie itself, I'm gonna say it's not my favorite because of what it is. It's a heist movie. It's not a Batman movie, but it's still great, and he's great in it. I don't think modern audiences are quite, and this is only what are we, 14 years from The Dark Knight? Dark Knight was 08. Mm-hmm. We're 14 years off, but I don't think newer audiences are that accepting of it. Mainly just because, well, you've ran into those people that are so set in their ways on it that even if they are wrong, they are not going to let up on it. And that is kind of dangerous in the age that we live in, where everything is, like you said, it could be uploaded to the internet in seconds. So that's a problem. Now, on the flip side of that coin, Fantastic Four being cursed is one thing, or Disney's looking at things like Warner Brothers is looking at things with their new CEO, and they're taking all of the stuff that they have and saying, oh, this is bad. We can't announce this in the form that it's in. We don't have enough good to drag everybody in. I would say that less so, but with how quiet and the fact that they made it a closed event for movies that typically, like you were saying, everybody gets together. It's like, all right, they're doing the new roadmap. Let's go. It casts a little bit of doubt on that for me, because now I'm like, are they self-aware enough to realize what we've been saying this whole time, which is you're putting too much shit out too fast and you're not quality checking it enough to where people actually are starting to care that. And it probably was because of Thor, God of Thunder, or whatever the fuck the damn title is that I botched there. But it might be because of that. They're like, we got a really negative reaction to that. Maybe we should take a step back before we announce everything to make sure that at the end of the day, that trailer isn't going to turn everybody off and only turn off the group of people watching it so we can take their feedback and recycle it back around. That's entirely possible, too.
I think there might be some truth in that. There were at least 2 or 3 different things where when they talked about it, they didn't have a trailer, but they were highlighting begins filming and then the date. So But you know, it wouldn't surprise me. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that I personally feel there's been an overall lack in quality in their products. Some would argue otherwise, and I would say that some of their points are pretty valid. The only thing is, it's like, and I think that it's because a lot of people, it's like you focus on the Disney Plus shows as opposed to the movies now, and you know, I'm old enough to where like I come from the old era where it was just like the movies are always going to be better than anything that's on TV. You know, like I mean, story you can argue, but in terms of like production,
Production and what you can shove into an
right.
hour and a half to 2.5 hours. Yeah.
And so if the shows aren't as grand as the fucking movies, that's never bothered me. I come from that world anyway. But
Sure.
one other thing that I wanted to fucking bring up is because before Marvel did their shit, Lucasfilm came out and did theirs. And hot damn, buddy, our little friend, Warwick Davis, and that Willow series trailer. That shit looks fucking awesome. All right, like whether you like Willow or not, like the original movie, because this I believe is a sequel series. That's like that put a little bit of faith. I mean, I'm still reserving judgment until I see the final product, but based off the trailer, because you know me, and if you've been watching, you've heard me say it several fucking times. I fucking hate how they fucking film shit in that goddamn cylinder room. I fucking hate it. This shit looked fucking amazing. This I couldn't fucking see any fucking lines. Like it looked like an actual fantasy series. And I
And
was
we've
just,
been lacking it for years.
yeah. And I was just like, this looks fucking dope. And I love that fucking Warwick Davis. He looks like he's having the goddamn time of his life.
Brings a little joy to my cold heart.
Yeah, yeah, you know, just fucking score one for the Leprechaun.
And then next thing you know, they're going to announce Leprechaun 8.
Yeah.
And he's going to have his final hurrah.
I swear to God, Warwick Davis is like every film company's like lucky rabbit's foot that they keep in their pocket.
Great actor.
Yeah, great actor. Yeah, yeah. um, the other thing is apparently they showed something that they weren't going to release online. But apparently there was footage finally of Indiana Jones 5. And this is it. They did say Harrison Ford came out on stage, and he was like, this is it. This is the last Indiana Jones movie. So, and that got me thinking, man, like, dude is like, think about it. Like, what other actor has like created iconic characters and then at the end of their career has had to come back to like play them as play them to die?
Harrison Ford's got a monopoly on that,
Yeah.
I think.
So I mean, everybody got like, it wasn't said or anything, but everybody got a lot of fucking eerie vibes. They're like, I think they're gonna fucking kill Indiana Jones in this movie.
And that's not a character you really kill off. He rides off into the sunset and retire. He Max Payne's it, if you will.
Yeah. But I mean, I know that he does not want anybody to fucking ever, like, he's like, when I die, Indiana Jones dies. He's like, I don't want this shit rebooted. Like, I don't know if he's got that written down legally, but he's adamant about it.
Let me just say, if he does have that in his contract, that is fucking possible to get in your contract with how, money talks and bullshit walks sort of deal. So if he did, bravo, because there needs to be more of that shit in contracts, I think. I mean, I don't have problems with remakes, reboots when they're necessary, but we talked about that before where most of the time shit that gets remade is shit that does not need to get remade, even for a modern audience. Train to Busan is getting a US remake, and I don't think that that's necessary.
No.
Am I going to watch it? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I think it takes place in New York, but
Oh.
subway system.
Yeah.
So, and that'll be even more claustrophobic since underground. But the movie ain't that old. It's just that I'm gonna shit on modern audiences again unintentionally, but I just think most people don't do subtitles, or they don't like dubbing, and I'm like, I like Italian movies, and they're all either or. So
Yeah.
and if you watch anime, congratulations. Those are your options. So, Indiana Jones is one of those ones that it's like, even the fourth one that I have never watched in a single sitting. I have watched it in phases. It doesn't need to be remade. It is what it is. It exists in the timeline. That would be like randomly picking Friday the 13th Part 3 out because the 3D effects didn't work well and be like, hey, we're going to remake just this one.
That would be weird as fuck. But yeah. But it was a strange day at the D23. A lot of people talking, and it's I mean, there is some good in there because like what they showed wasn't bad. It was just like they didn't show anything that anybody was expecting them to show. So it was a weird thing.